Okay, so it's video 11. Okay, so so they can't compete with the DMT, so they oppress it. And they tell you it's dirty, it's ugly, it's this, it's there's your monkeys, you're this, you're that, they gaslight because they're jealousy. They're jealous of it. They want they wish they had what you have, the beautiful lips, the nice backside of a woman, the strong muscular bodies, male or female, the nappy hair, which acts as, coils, right? Like Tesla coils, right? And I'm talking about Nikola Tesla, like Tesla coils. It absorbs the energy, right? And it just goes directly, their antennas absorbs the energy and goes right directly into the skull, right? Activating neurons, right? Okay. Okay. And the heat also allows the synapses in the brain to rapid fire, whereby you can process information, faster. Thus, process complex information faster. It was once said that the Sphinx of Egypt of Kemet, right, are 20,000 years old. At least 20,000 years old, right? So if the Sphinx are 20,000 years old, the East would place the East more advanced than the West by 20,000 years. So for Hebrew Israelites to be enslaved in the West means they had to travel back in time 20,000 years. Imagine that. Time traveling, going back 20,000 years, consciously. Right? So the West is still catching up. They still don't know how the pyramids were built. They still don't understand all that science and astronomy that, the West, the East was advanced in. Right? So, and that's because they were more advanced. Because of the DMT, because of the melanin, right? Because of the sun, the Africa, right? The Tesla coils, as it relates to the nappy hair, right? Absorbing the energy and spiraling directly into the skull and the firing of the synapses, right? Right? Okay. So, going back 20,000 years is what happened when they went to the West and they were enslaved, right? And so, and that goes back to what I was saying too about, having entered the door, right? And one going up and one going down, right? Meaning one going, the 150,000 celestial year going down and another one rising, right? Okay. So, that'd be good. So, that's good, rather. So, when the Hebrew Israelites were taken into captivity, right, they went back in time 20,000 years. But no, this is where I was. So if we're going to into the fifth dimension, right, where consciousness is going to be, faster and much faster and more advanced, right? We won't need these quantum computers. The quantum computer will be each and every individual, right? They will need the quantum computer, but you won't need that quantum computer. You're far more advanced than a quantum computer, right? So, imagine those who are left behind in the 50,000 celestial yesteryear. They won't be able to comprehend they won't be able to comprehend the consciousness of those in the new age, let's say of the Aquarius or the cosmically aligned new 50,000 celestial year cycle. They won't understand what they're talking about. I mean, because, what I'm speaking is very, very complex, and it's going to be common. But not everybody's going to be interested. Not everybody's going to get it. And that's because they got to be on that, you know, on that frequency, on that, you know, dimension, you know, consciously operating from within that dimension. And nobody's going to have time to just sit back and teach, right? And many of them won't get it because their brains will be functioning on a slower frequency, right? Just like now you can understand the prophets, but in the prophets' time you couldn't understand the prophets. Humanity had to advance consciously on a higher frequency, right? Their brain process had to be able to understand, you know, or be exposed to greater knowledge, right? They had to come out the cave consciousness as Plato expressed, right? Let's say the cave consciousness, right, where they believed the shadows on the wall to be reality, right? And anybody outside the cave that saw true reality and tried to go and tell anybody in the cave what was true reality, the people in the cave would attack them because they would think they're crazy, right? Okay, it's the same thing. Will be the same thing between the division of the consciousness between those who could not transcend death, right? The death of the colonialism, death of plantation consciousness, death of imperialism, death of totalitarianism, death of the occupation of occupying of other people's land, right? Other nations' land, barbarism, warmongering. All of that will be a thing of the past. You know, one young Gen Zer said, you know, you want me to have a gun? What does this look like? The Revolutionary War? That's embarrassing. He thought it was horrid. But that will be the new consciousness. Most people will think like that. Want go and kill somebody? He's not a killer. You know? So, he said he had things to do. He had to go to the spa. He had to eat healthy. He's not going to want to go fight no war. You know, kill people. That's barbaric. That's insane, as he expressed it so eloquently. These Gen Zers are something special. Kudos to the Gen Z. Kudos to the Gen Zers. Okay? They are educating themselves. So proud of them. So proud of them. We stand by our Gen Zers 100%. 100. We keep it 100 for our Gen Zers. Okay? Because they are making a difference, you know? And it was spoken that, you know, 2 generations would come together to, you know, change the world. And it appears that's what's happening, you know? The Gen Zs are taking their place. They're tired of being, taken advantage of, you know, overlooked. Their needs go unmet in regards to housing. They can't afford housing. The education is too expensive. Now forced into the military to take their lives, you know. Many of them couldn't even graduate from high school with a proper graduation. That most, you know, to attend the ceremonies, you know, they had to be educated online, which is not a bad thing because I believe that helped them to be able to educate themselves now because they know how to do their research and they're doing it accurately and they're standing up, you know, to speak the truth, you know, without fear, you know, and they're willing to practice what they preach, you know. So they're tired, you know. They want to live their lives freely, you know. They're tired of their voice being taken away from them, their lives being taken away from them, you know, the hope of having a family because children are too expensive, right? The hope of having their own house because housing is too expensive. The hope of having an education because education is too expensive. Everything is put beyond them. So they're taking their lives back. They're taking control of their lives by educating themselves and saying no. They're saying no to tyranny, no to oppression, no to imperialism, no to colonialism, no to the occupying of other lands, people, nations, lands, no to warmongering. They're saying no because all of that impacts their lives. Okay, so kudos to Gen Zers. Shout out to Gen Zers. From one generation to the next. Okay. Okay, we read that. Okay, so we said that they know who the, you know, the the synagogue of Satan, you know, those governments that ascribe to the, you know, synagogue of Satan, they know who the real Hebrew Israelites are, and they know who the fake Hebrew Israelites are not. Well, they know who the real Hebrew Israelites are, and they know who the fake Hebrew Israelites are. They know. They're just hoping that the true Hebrew Israelites don't stand in their dignity of their ancestral heritage. Right? Okay. So, okay. After, okay. Okay, so we said that they were to be re-enslaved, right? After they took over all the other, after they took over, after they tried to destroy Iran, after they tried to destroy Russia, after they tried to destroy China, then they were going to try to take all the natural resources in Africa, Alkebulan, and then they were going to re-enslave them, and then eventually genocide them all, right? And that's how they were going to take over the world. Okay, so now we said the celestial cycle is complete. All shall not enter the celestial door to enter the newly galactic aligned 50,000 celestial year cycle. Some will be able to enter, right? And some will be able to enter the fifth dimension of the higher Christ and receive the higher or embrace the higher Christ consciousness of peace, like the Gen Zers, right? Okay, and those who stand with the Gen Zers, right? Like those who stand with Muhammad, right? MashaAllah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those who stand with Palestine, right? Okay, so they will be able to enter the fifth dimension and they will find peace in the new age of Aquarius. Some shall be left behind in the 50,000 celestial yesteryear, those such as the Ukrainians, Ashkenazi Nazi Zionists, those colonizers who maintain the plantation consciousness of colonialism, imperialism, totalitarianism, authoritarianism, those who serve the Genfil, demonic red dragon, Neanderthal rat child, and his antichrist abomination, and his female, and female is a female impersonator, and a male is a male impersonator, right? A female is a female impersonator, and they call them trans blenders, right? I call them trans blenders, but they're females. They're female impersonators, and the males are trans blender male impersonators, right? Okay. Now, and again, those are those who serve the synagogue of Satan. Because, as I said before, all those who, you know, go through, you know, trans blendering, and I say that so that, you know, I maintain a connection with my videos, right? All those who go through transblendering, they're not doing it for sex or just to be in a same gender relationship. Some of them really feel, you know, that they need to reflect their mindset, and that is they feel like a woman, they think like a woman, they act like a woman. They want to reflect their physical body to reflect their mental and emotional body, right? So they're not doing it just, many of them are not, some of them, a majority of them I believe are not doing it to just have sex. That would be ridiculous. Nobody's going to put themselves through all that pain, all that challenge, physical surgery and all that just to have sex. Nobody would do that. So some of them do it because they really feel the way they feel, and we must empathize with them. But can't go around having the children to do that, coercing the children that is the right thing to do for them, because they should wait till they to be able to make their own decision. Now, I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong, because only Allah is the judge. But if the children are make that decision for themselves, they should do it for themselves when they are adults. Just like voting has an age, drinking has an age, um, going to the military has an age. Everything has an age, requirement. As we said, there's 3 stages: before Saturn return, after first Saturn return, after second Saturn return, after third Saturn return. Everything has a time, for things to be for children for humanity to mature. I mean, even age has to wine has to age, but children don't have to age before they make that decision, right? So wine has has even a greater there's a greater respect for wine than there is children to be able to make their decisions, right? When they become adults, no, wait to make their decisions until they become adults. Wait till they age. Wait till they get some vintage, right? Okay, so that shouldn't be forced upon children, and that kind of stuff shouldn't be in their schools. And that's what most people have a problem with, and that's what people should have a problem with, right? Okay, so, and that age should be when they're adult, 21, right? Not if they're 2 and they feel like I want to wear a ribbon in my hair. No, take him to the doctor. He's got to get the surgery, right? He wants to be a girl. Or the girl wants to play soccer. Take her to the doctor. Get her a penis, right? Got to have a penis to play sports, right? So that's got to stop. Okay, now, or at least forcing that upon children, right? Okay, so now there will be those who get left behind, those with the plantation consciousness, right? Those who are religiously homosexual, right? And the religiously homosexual belong to the synagogue of Satan. They will be left behind. Those warmongers will be left behind. The warmongers are those of the culture of death, the damnation of the synagogue of Satan. And that concludes our video. Gemini, entering the higher dimension, the 5th dimension, right? Going through that door and leaving it, dying to the Christ conscious, dying to the 50,000 yesteryear plantation unconsciousness. And I will say, Assalamu alaikum to Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Assalamu alaikum to the Sahaba. Assalamu alaikum to my ancestors. Assalamu alaikum to my fathers, my mother, mashallah, and salaam alaikum to my love, Michael Jackson. Salaam alaikum, the King of Kings, right? The King of Pops, right? The Celestial Daddy. And salaam alaikum to you. And I love you all. Salaam alaikum.